Assalamu alaikum, Murtaza. Can you hear me? Hello?
Hello and good morning. Miss Naomi, am I audible to you?
Yes, good morning, Murtaza. You are audible to me.
Let me show you my screen right away. All right. ये बड़ा लंबा काम है वैसे.
मुझे होस्ट बना दी, मैं कर देती हूँ, 5 मिनट का काम है।
अच्छा, चलो ठीक है, बनाता हूँ मैं अब. कोई मसला नहीं, बना देता हूँ मैं बस.
मुझे होस्ट बना
अ,
देना, मैं कर देती हूँ.
ये ले.
Right, so now I am the host. Thank you. I have breakout rooms and मैं ठीक है, मैं दोबारा से सेटिंग इनेबल करती हूँ. लॉजिकली मेरे जूम में तो है.
ठीक है. और उसमें कभी कभी ऐसा भी होता है कि ड्यूरिंग द मीटिंग आप पोल ऐड करो ना, तो कभी वो शो होता है, कभी नहीं भी होता है. अगर आप लिंक बनाने से पहले ऐड कर दो ना, तो फिर 100% रहता है.
अगर आपको सारा कुछ आता है तो आप कर दें.
अ, मुझे तो आता ही है. आपने खुद ही इंसिस्ट किया कि मुझे होस्ट बना दें, तो मैं आपकी कहीं बात को कैसे टाल सकता था.
जी जी, आपने कहा है कि और आई एम एंड दिस मस्ट बी रिकॉर्डिंग. मेरी साइड से मीटिंग पोल्स एक्टिव हैं, बट व्हाई कांट आई लॉन्च देम ओवर हियर. आई हैव
ओके.
ब्रेक
आपको
आउट.
ऑप्शन नज़र आ रही है पोल्स वाली कि नहीं आ रही?
नहीं आ रही, नहीं आ रही.
फिर वापस मुझे होस्ट बना दें.
आप तो पहले ही हैं. अच्छा, आप तो हैं.
जी, अब आप हैं. एक वक्त में एक ही होस्ट हो सकता है, ये दुनिया का असूल है.
को होस्ट भी नहीं होगा.
जी, वो आपको बना दिया मैंने. गुम है, गुम है.
रोजा नहीं आपका?
जी.
Aren't you fasting?
मी, यस, आई एम.
I heard रोजे में लोग गाने नहीं गाते.
मैं गाने नहीं गा रहा, मैं बेसिकली ऑडियंस को एक अच्छा बैकग्राउंड फील दे रहा हूँ. तो दिस इज आल्सो लाइक सवाब, कि दूसरों को
ऑडियंस
कुछ
तो है ही
करवा
नहीं यहाँ पर.
रहा. फिलहाल तो आप भी मेरे लिए एक ऑडियंस ही है ना.
जी, बहुत शुक्रिया.
अच्छा. एंटर टाइटल. इस पॉल का टाइटल क्या रखें हम भला?
OLLARC ही रख दीजिए.
OLLARC. ओके. Question 1, O stand in OLLARC stands for.
और जैसा मैं 1 मिनट के लिए छोटी सी कॉल कर लूँ प्लीज़ घर पे.
श्योर श्योर, दो
थैंक
मिनट
यू.
के लिए कर लें.
मैं नहीं, अच्छा था, मैं इधर ही हूँ बस. ठीक है, थैंक यू.
ऑलराइट, नो प्रॉब्लम.
जी, I'm back with this.
Miss Naomi, are you there?
जी, I'm here.
Do you want to try?
ठीक है, अभी हम दोनों ट्राई कर सकते हैं। 38 है, अभी तो बहुत टाइम है। सो आई हैव माय फोन। वाओ! एंड ये फिर आप ही स्टार्ट करेंगे ना, मैं तो नहीं कर पाऊंगी।
आप मुझे ये बता देना जी कि कब करना, टेक्स्ट कर देना। लेकिन are you able to see all the questions like at the
यस,
same time?
मैं यस आई कैन सी ऑल ऑफ देम एट द सेम टाइम।
और are you able to let me make you, एक मिनट
और जैसा
आपका
मैं
ना,
स्क्रीन शेयर कर सकती हूँ ना,
जी जी कर सकती हैं।
मैं अपनी जो स्लाइड्स मैंने बनाई है उसका डेमो देखूँ थोड़ा, एक मिनट।
एक
तो
मिनट। मिस ये लेकिन काफ़ी ब्लर इमेज है। ये मतलब ये रियल में भी ऐसी है कि मुझे नज़र आ रही है
हाँ जी,
ऐसी?
नहीं, ये पहला ब्लर होगा, उसके बाद ठीक हो जाएगा।
हाँ ये ठीक है।
सही है। सो देयर वी गो। अच्छा, दीज आर 14 स्लाइड्स। आपने ये पोलिंग स्टार्ट करनी है जनाब आफ्टर दिस वन। ये स्लाइड देख के जब मैं अपना इंट्रोडक्शन दे दूंगी, उसके बाद फिर आप जो है वो
अच्छा, मैंने मिस आयशा को कहा है कि ज्वाइन करें ताकि हम पोल्स टेस्ट कर लें। मिस आयशा, आई एम गोइंग टू लॉन्च द पोल। अच्छा, आपको कैसे नज़र हाँ, आप सिलेक्ट कर पा रही हैं? ओके ठीक है। हाँ सही है सही है सही है। ओके चलो बंद कर देता हूँ मैं एंड पोलिंग।
और ये 1-1 मिनट के लिए हम करेंगे डिस्प्ले, और व्हाट डू यू थिंक 1.5 मिनट वुड वर्क? 1 मिनट काफ़ी होगा।
जब जब सब कर लेंगे ना तो वो मुझे शो हो जाएगा कि सब ने आंसर कर दिया।
जी, अच्छा ठीक है। सो यू वांट एवरीबॉडी टू पार्टिसिपेट?
मीन दैट वुड बी अप टू यू। सो मैं आपको परसेंटेज बता दूंगा कि इतने बंदों ने परसेंटेज ने आंसर कर दिया है। तो यू वांट मी टू क्लोज और यू नो, हम चैट पे भी साथ साथ एक दो के साथ दूसरे के साथ कम्युनिकेट कर सकते हैं इधर ही, और व्हाट्सएप पे भी कर सकते हैं।
अच्छा, डू आई नीड टू स्विच ऑन माय वीडियो?
आइडली यस।
कैमरा टेस्ट कर लें, फिर इन आई केस आई नीड टू मूव
श्योर।
इट अबव या फिर adjust for now. See me? Okay. So, over here. इतना ठीक है, मेरी कुर्सी खराब है, नीचे हो जाती है।
आप बैठे जरा तो मैं देखता हूँ। ओके हाँ ये ठीक है,
ये यहाँ पे।
सही है।
एंड आई विल डेफिनेटली स्विच ऑन माय वीडियो
तो
जब हम स्टार्ट। जी,
थोड़ा सा बस आपका सर कट रहा है फ्रेम में।
लाइक
हाँ ये
थोड़ा सा।
दिस इज फाइन। हाँ
इज इज फाइन नाउ?
हाँ दिस इज फाइन।
उन्हें लगेगा कि कोई सॉरी छोड़े, जेंडर फर्क है, वो आके जो है वो हमें बता रही है।
मिस मैंने आपके साथ, आपको पता है ना, मजाक करना मैं
जी,
अवॉइड करता हूँ क्योंकि फिर वो मुझे पता नहीं लगता है कि कौन सा मजाक करना है और कौन सा नहीं करना, और
या भी
समटाइम
एट
गलत
टाइम्स
गलत मजाक
लूज
हो
बॉल हो जाती है और हम बाउंड्रीज
जाता
क्रॉस
है।
कर जाते हैं।
हाँ जी, तो इसलिए अब मैं इस पे कोई कमेंट नहीं करूंगा।
नहीं नहीं, आप हाँ जी सिर्फ हाँ या ना कर सकते हैं, इट्स फाइन। एंड व्हेन
नहीं
आई
मैं
एम
सिर्फ
इनिशिएटिंग
मैं
इट
सिर्फ
तो
मुस्कुरा दूंगा बस सिंपली।
ठीक हो गया। 15 मिनट्स टू गो।
चले मैं तब तक थोड़ा सा मॉल बना
अच्छा,
देता हूँ
और
इधर।
हमने क्या कहते हैं, आई एम गोइंग टू प्रेजेंट फॉर कंप्लीट 1.5 आवर।
That's up to you, and that's, I think that would depend upon the audience also.
1 घंटा बहुत ज्यादा है ना?
कि हाँ मतलब ये भी हम देख लेंगे ना कि हाउ थिंग्स गोज, तो जिस तरह जाएंगी फिर उस तरह से हम कर लेंगे।
हाँ जी, और फिर ये होगा कि and we can just have 10 to 15 minutes question answers as well, अगर लोगों को रिक्वायर्ड हुआ। आई डाउट वैसे उसकी ज़रूरत होगी, बट बिकॉज आई एम गोइंग टू शेयर a few samples as well, जो
ओके
मैं लाइव टेक्निक से अडाप्ट करती हूँ उसके मुताबिक क्या रिजल्ट्स हैं। एक मिनट अपना फ़ोन
ठीक है,
साइलेंट कर लूँ, ठीक है? सो आई विल बी शेयरिंग दैट, एंड उसमें शायद थोड़ा बहुत टाइम लगे क्योंकि वो शॉर्ट वीडियोस हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल
नो प्रॉब्लम एट ऑल। मैं भी मीनवाइल स्क्रीन शेयर करके देख लूँ कि इज इट वर्किंग फाइन। और मिस आयशा दिखाती हैं जरा सिस्टम, अब वापस से लगी हैं। उस पे इंटेंस को रख दें आप और इधर आ जाएं, सो विल कोऑर्डिनेट।
बायो क्यों चाहिए थी? बायो कहाँ ऐड की है?
सॉरी
बायो कहाँ पे ऐड किया? मिस अनम ने बायो भी मांगी थी ना, लाइक मोस्ट नीडेड।
वो तो मैं आई विल इंट्रोड्यूस यू.
तो आप पढ़ेंगे।
हाँ. So I'll start the session. I mean, and I'll introduce you, and then hand over the mic to you, and then you can start. तो मेरी स्क्रीन आपको भी विजिबल है, राइट?
जी, आई कैन सी दिस बैनर जिसमें मैं हूँ और मिस आयशा अस्मा है, असमत सॉरी।
जी जी जी. So
और डू वी हैव फैकल्टी फ्रॉम सियालकोट यूनिट, दोनों जगह से हैं?
ईमेल तो मैंने सबको यही सेंड की है, लाहौर और सियालकोट. But क्योंकि we have for 1 full week, so we don't know in which session they will come. So depends upon their availability.
या अच्छा, कम लोग होंगे तो ज़्यादा अच्छा होगा, है ना? नहीं
Miss Miss
नहीं,
आप
I'm just joking.
right,
Obviously,
right.
because हम अगर I think we are just sharing some good techniques. So जितने लोग उससे फैज़ याब हो सकेंगे, उतना ही
मैं
अच्छा है।
मैं ये कह रहा था कि अगर ये कबूलियत का वक्त हो और सेशन में सिर्फ आप और मैं ही प्रेजेंट कर रहे हो.
हाँ जी, तो
सो ऐसे.
एटलीस्ट आप अगले टर्म में जब आप एज अ लेक्चरर अप्लाई करेंगे तो आपको पता होगा, प्रोएक्टिव।
राइट 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 राइट. मिस आसमा कैसी हैं आप?
I'm good, thanks for asking.
राइट. सो आपका जो सेशन है दैट्स आपके साथ स्केड्यूल शेयर हो गया, राइट?
जी जी बिल्कुल. It's on Friday at 4:30 p.m.
परफेक्ट परफेक्ट. ओके.
और 30 बहुत लेट नहीं हो गया इस वक्त?
I can't do it before that क्योंकि I have classes. I talked to Anam yesterday तो उन्होंने खुद ही ये time suggest किया था, तो मैंने कहा ठीक है.
कि अगर एक
राइट.
घंटा भी होता है, that would mean you'll be free at 5:30.
उसमें
Yes.
मुझे भी, मैं भी थोड़ा सोच रहा था क्योंकि 4:30 टिल 5:30 ज़्यादातर लोग फिर या तो डेड हो चुके होते हैं या फिर वो इफ्तार के
हाँ जी,
मतलब उन्होंने मुंह कर लिया होता है कि अब रोज़ा खुलना है उस तरफ. अ, तो अगर इसको आप थोड़ा
दिन चेंज करके देख लो इस वक्त।
The problem is कि और कोई time slot है नहीं. Anam like told me about it, तो वो उनको पता होगा ना कि कौन सी slots available है. He suggested this time.
फ्राइडे को?
Yes.
चलो, I'll if you are presenting from here, I'll just accompany you. I'll be here as well. Then
Okay.
this is what I
Thank you
can
so
do.
much.
You're welcome. क्या आप लोगों को कोई आवाज़ आई है? ऐसे nobody is there, ठीक है।
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful.
قل هو الله أحد.
Say, He is Allah, who is one.
الله الصمد.
Allah, the eternal refuge.
لم يلد ولم يولد.
He neither begets nor is born,
ولم يكن له كفوا أحد.
nor is there to Him any equivalent.
All right, Bismillah ar-Rahman rahim and good morning. My name is Sayyid Ghulam Murtaza. I'm working as Manager Operations in Stage Department under UMT Connected. I welcome you all and thank you so much for joining us right on time. Today's session it's going to be very exciting. We are going to be right on to the main topics and the points. So I really like to thanks all the participants and especially our today's speaker, Miss Naomi Justin. Uh, we're going to do these sessions all this week and hopefully next week as well. Every day we will have different presenters and different speakers, and I'll share those details with you every day through email as well. Uh, Now, I just would like to confirm from Miss Naomi that should we start, shall we start, or shall we wait a little more for some other people to join in?
Assalamualaikum, Mr. Murtaza. I think we can just start and people can join in a while. They are already joining.
Right, perfect. Okay, so before I give the mic to Miss Naomi Justin, I'd like to give a small introduction that she's currently working as a lecturer in the Department of English and Literary Studies, Institute of Liberal Arts at UMT. She holds 12 years of experience in the communication department of telecom industry. Her research area lies in the field of language and machine translation. She have chaired sessions in APOS and APOS 2.0 as a moderator. APOS is All Pakistan Online Education Summit, is a digital platform which conducts talks, seminars, workshops, presentations, and interactions with a global outreach. So she's also a member of Google Translate community and volunteer as an interpreter at Every Nation Center, Pakistan. Her forthcoming research is about the contribution of phatic expressions towards gender stereotypes. So, without taking any further time, I'd like to give the mic to Miss Naomi Justin with the thanks. Miss Naomi Justin, the mic and the floor is over to you.
All right, thank you for that, Murtaza. Assalamu alaikum and good morning, everyone. I hope I am loud and clear to you. So at the moment, you are hearing my voice, and some of you, if you have seen the poster, you would be familiar with my face as well. But definitely, I'm going to reveal my face as well in a while. Let's just have a little suspense till we reach to the third slide of our presentation. So just I'm going to begin the screen share, and here we are with today's session. I hope the screen is visible to each one of you. Could you please confirm me or
Yes, it
once in the
is.
chat? All right, that's great. All right, so LMS is something that we have been hearing from a long, long time. And this session goes that once upon a time, there was a faculty who was working in UMT and she was living a very peaceful life. She didn't know what LMS was. But as we always cannot have all good days, she encountered a platform or a software, I would say, with the name of LMS. And then her life became quite difficult. She had courses to manage, workload to manage, advisorship, research tasks, and eventually she was very, very agitated whenever she heard the word LMS. But later on, she realized that when everything is becoming digital, we talk about online modes, online teaching, online classes, and we at the same time encourage our students to get accustomed and adapt this new mode of teaching. So, how much applicable is this on my own self? So, as the story goes, and if you are familiar with the short story with the title of Who Moved My Cheese by Dr. Spencer Johnson, it's a story about two mice, and we come to know that they are in search of cheese. And for her, she considered LMS as a cheese, which was probably something that can be enjoyed at a bit, but she was not ready to explore it more. And I've added some quotes from this short story, which would let you know, understand the situation, the mental state she was going through, and what finally made her adapt the change and come and share these success techniques or tips with the rest of the colleagues as well. So the first stage was, it says, adapt to change quickly. The quicker you let go of old cheese, the sooner you can enjoy new cheese. What was happening was, I was enjoying the previous mode of LMS, in which we did not have OLLARC, we did not have to upload so many things, we did not have to fill in so many things. So that was very easy approach towards using the learning management system. But later on, when we came to know that this is the new mode, the university is adapting it globally. A lot of educationists are adapting learning management systems. And when she understood the fact that now she finally has to adapt this, she started to change her mindset, and that helped her to change her behavior towards approaching LMS, towards OLLARC methodology, towards considering this not as a clerical job or a clerical work, but something to be enjoyed and create a motivation for the students as well. And as the second quote goes, when you change what you believe, you change what you do. And when you move beyond your fear, you feel free. So, this is the story of a lecturer, and I believe it is a story of a lot of us who were previously burdened with this thought that probably we have to do a lot of work. It's adding a lot of burden on our shoulders. We have so many things to manage. But once you start accepting this thing, that this is the new mode, this is the new era, LMS is a part of our education system, and we need to be equally responsible, responsive towards it, enjoy whatever is being taught to us through seminars and webinars, and finally adapt the new methodology, the more relaxed you would become. So, as Mr. Murtaza has already introduced me, my name is Naomi Justin. I am working in Dell's department, that's Department of English and Literary Studies, and this is my story. So, I'm just going to share a few techniques and tips with you, which helped me eventually to start enjoying LMS. And I would say that now LMS is one of the platforms that I am regularly updating. It's not nothing with regard to clerical work or something that's burdening me. It's not even burdensome anymore. So I'm going to share those techniques with you, so they may help you while you are designing your courses. And there are a few tips that I realized were very, very effective when we come to putting our content into LMS. So my motto is for today's session is that OLLARC is the way to effectively implement standardized curriculum. And as you can see, I have given a different color to the four words: effectively implement and standardized curriculum. So in order to have an effective implementation of your course content, of your learning objective, it's really very important that first of all, your curriculum needs to be standardized. And how we can do that, what are a few tips and techniques to do that, definitely we're going to explore that as well. But before we proceed, I would just like to have a quick refresher with you by a polling option, because we have heard about LMS a lot for so long. Since the last year, we are learning, we are attending seminars and webinars. Steers team is conducting sessions every week, at times even on Saturdays, and we are already familiar with these terminologies. But just before we proceed, I would want you to have a quick refresher that how well do you remember what does OLLARC stand for? So, Mr. Murtaza, can we please proceed with our polling options? Thank you.
Sure. Are you able to see the polling option because you're the host? If not, then kindly make me the host. So,
Yes, I can see the polling option. All right. Do you want me to launch? All right. So I am going to launch the polling option for you. All right, so your time starts now, and you can choose any one option that's the most closest to what you can recall or remember. All right, and you don't need to worry and do not need to take so much time to fill it. This is just a refresher because I cannot still see anybody selecting any option. All right, so finally, I have started getting responses. All right, and yes, all right. I hope you have enjoyed the several options that though they were not related to, but it would have helped you to at least smile for a while you were deciding which option you should be choosing. So 9 out of 15 participants have responded. What do they remember about OLLARC? What does OLLARC stand? And what is OLLARC methodology about? All right, thank you, Miss Sophia. Miss Sophia says she enjoyed those options the most. Yes, and because this is an educational setup, so I had to be a little careful with my vocabulary and my verbiage. But I hope there wasn't anything that would have offended anyone. And although I plan to share this later, but you can see that we can use several options when we talk about student engagement. That's one of the challenges we face as teachers, that you don't know what is happening on the other side of the screen. So you can explore several options. And I recently discovered this. And whenever the class starts, I usually ask them such options. All right, so 10 people have responded, and I'm just waiting for the five more people to respond. And they just remind me of those students in the class. जैसे कुछ बच्चे होते हैं वो कहेंगे हाँ, कुछ बच्चे कहते हैं ना, और कुछ बच्चे कहते हैं हमने जवाब ही नहीं देना, मिस बोलती रहें. So the four participants who are left, they just remind me of those students who are least bothered that whatever is happening in the class. But still, 11 out of 15 is a good percentage. All right, so I'm ending up the polling and you can see the results as well. I'm just doing this demo with you so that you're able to use this technique in your classes as well, and whatever poll questions you're asking. I use this whenever I end up a lecture and sparing the last 5 to 10 minutes. Instead of just having a recap, I just ask whatever we studied through poll, and it really helps because it just makes them a little more interactive, and students like to participate. And I usually add one funny statement as well, and such responses that they would consider it light, not really very something that they have to like attempt very strictly. So thank you for that. And as you can see, the percentages reveal that what each participant selected as the answer option. And I was hoping maybe somebody would just select oi hoy and least concerned, esi ki tesi, Romeo and Juliet, but no, these are not, and not even Canterbury Tales. All right, so this means you people remember very well that what OLLARC methodology is about. So thank you for that. And let's just go back to our presentation to continue with what we had studied. And just to have a refresher as well. Oh yes, thank you, Ms. Obia. Yes, please, you can post the questions in the chat, and after the session is over, we will definitely do that. So talking about OLLARC, O stands for overview, L stands for learning objectives, and the second L is for learning activities, assignments and tasks, assessments, recommended resources, and then concluding remarks. But this, I always had this question in my mind, and that's why I've added this image as well, that when we started using LMS, when we started adapting OLAF methodology, these were a few things that were into our mind. And there were times when we used to ask them, and there were times when you just used to be irritated and still do it because we were required to do that. But the purpose of this session is that whenever you are using LMS, whenever you are adapting OLAF methodology, it should not be as an irritation. It should be something engaging, as a fun learning, and you should be able to enjoy that practice. So as you can see, it's say the one man is questioning, why do you want to develop this interactive e-learning program? The question we have been asking steer teams every time. And they say, we want all the material to be available online. But the next question would be that why OLLARC? And by just making the material available online, is it a proof? How do you validate? How do you verify that it is actually helping the students? And I'll be sharing some live examples from my class as well to give you a proof that when I say these techniques have been helpful to me, they are, I'm not just building castles in the air, they truly have been very helpful and effective. So why OLLARC? Who manages your learning? Our LMS does that. It gives us reports on everything, da da da. So doesn't even tell you people have actually learned. So in order to make sure, in order to be a little bit more confident about how students are learning, what is their progress, how interested they are whenever you're posting anything with LMS. Is it just you who is regularly using the LMS, or are the students using LMS effectively as well? So how do we do that? I learned, this was my learning, that learning is a two-way street. By learning you will teach, and by teaching you will learn. So when I in person started exploring LMS, the new options, the several options, I found them very very effective and very engaging. We have several discussion forums, you can add up several sort of assignments. But just to make it easier for you to understand, my there were two main things that were really important for me. First thing is that the curriculum needs to be standardized, and I've added my course outline as well for your review. You can have a look at that, so you will get an idea that when I say the curriculum has to be standardized, what does that mean? Once it is standardized and you are using LMS, you're posting all those things on LMS, that helped to result in student engagement. And I was able to effectively implement what I wanted to teach, what was the content and what were the outcomes of those content learning objectives. So when we talk about standardized curriculum, I can't believe I'm still working through this requirements. And this is what we used to think at night, late night working on LMS, filling up our sessions this week, that week, checking all those things. And why do we need so much data when the important thing is, did they learn? So how do we do that? I'm just going to share my course outline with you. I'm sorry for that. Just a minute, please. All right, I just need to um, share it separately because all right, here we are. I'm sorry for this interruption, but I think we can expect a few techno lapses when you're working. So coming straight away to my course level objectives. Just try to make your course content interactive. As I'm teaching Semantics and Pragmatics course, which basically deals with what meaning is all about, what interpretation is, how the context works. So it's very important that as the student opens the first page, his or her interest develops there and then. Because if the person won't have the interest over here, he or she might not even bother to scroll down over here. So as you can see in this image, it's the same statement. Sherlock saw the man using binoculars, and then Sherlock saw the man using binoculars. So you can see that how through the illustration, through the depiction of the images, the same sentence is conveying us different meanings. I try to adapt these few techniques while I'm making anything for my students. I try to add up short video clips. And then the another major thing that I would want to share with you would be you need to be very clear about your learning outcomes. This is how you are standardizing your curriculum. If I'm teaching a specific topic in 1 week, following Bloom's taxonomy, I would not talk about it a lot because we all are already familiar with those high order and low order thinking skills and how we can use different terms from Bloom's taxonomy and explore different activities. But what mainly I want to explain over here is that your content needs to be structured. You should yourself be clear in your head कि आपने बच्चों को क्या पढ़ाना है, what are your expectations for that specific week. So once you are clear in your own head, what do you want, how you're going to structure their content, in which week which activity would be better for them, how they are able to interrelate, how they would be able to relate the previous knowledge with the new knowledge. Once you are very clear in your own steps, that how you are going to conduct it, definitely it will be very easier for you when it comes to implementation on LMS. And another tip would be when you have already worked in detail on your course outline, it definitely helps you, it saves your time. You just need to copy and paste them, and when you are working on LMS you would not really have to do a lot of things. All right, thank you, Ms. Mariam, for the comment. All right, so once the curriculum is standardized, what do we need to do is, and I just added, we had a training again by Steers team. Thank you to their team. They're doing a wonderful job in which they trained us about the learning objectives, because that's the main task whenever we are creating our course outlines. How do we need to make the course outline? Learning objectives, it's not time like that. You are unable to find the right word. It takes so much time. What if there's repetition? So this is what we learned over there, that you need to be clear about the ABC model of learning objective. By A is meant the audience, B would mean the behavior, C would be the condition, and D would be the degree. So you need to keep in your mind who is the audience. आप जो content prepare कर रहे हैं, is it too much for them, is it too less for them, what's the level, how well they're going to grasp it, is it just cramming? I'll just share after these slides my some presentations by my student, that would they just cram and then write it when they're doing the paper, or they're actually learning something? What behavior do you want to develop in them? What thought process needs to be triggered in their minds, and under what conditions, how we are going to evaluate them or assess them? We need assessments and evaluations to make sure that whatever is being taught, whatever is being told, it is being effective as well. And lastly, to what degree? And I've added two examples to make it clear that when we are making any learning objective, how can we gauge the ABCD? So as you can see in the first example, it says this is a CLO, that at the end of this course, using a PC with Microsoft Word software, students in keyboarding 101. So you see, you can see the audience, they have specified that, and will be able to type at least 60 words per minute. So B is the behavior. What do you want them to do? And then as the third slide, the point is mentioned about the condition. Conditioning would be how you are training them, that how what modes they are going to use, what resources they are going to use. So using a PC, what they're going to do, they're going to type words with no more than 3 mistakes. That's the degree. To what extent do you want them to learn? Another example is given a blank map of the United States, the students will identify all 50 states and capitals with 90% accuracy. So again, you can see with the color coding that how, I'm sorry, it's distinguished over there, that what would be the condition, who would be the audience, what is going to be their behavior, and to what degree do you want them to learn a certain thing. So once you are very clear, once you are very structured about your curriculum, about your learning objectives, things are very easier over there. So this is the main pinnacle where you need to reach, and after that, everything would be green. But again, when we talk about this, there are so many challenges that at times demotivate us. And this is what we keep on doing as teachers, and that's what the ERP team doing keeps on doing with us. And the person is saying, I'm not able to run the course on my PC. नया LMS नहीं आ रहा, old LMS आ रहा है, editing नहीं हो रही है, file नहीं attach हो रही है. I keep on getting these queries as well because I'm also a tech agent, and at times I respond the same way. I wonder why it seems to be working fine on our PCs. मेरे LMS पे तो कोई issue नहीं आता, मिस आपके LMS पे कैसे issue आ रहा है, आप ये नहीं ठीक करेंगी? So at times these things cause us to be demotivated and make this work appear as a burden. But as I already reiterated, okay, once you have standardized your curriculum, things would be very easy, and definitely it helps you. So I'm just going to talk about the next 4 points, that are learning activities, and then we have the assignments and assessments. So I'm going to share a few examples when I talk about the first, learning activities. So I'm just going to screen share and show you that how we can create different learning activities for our students. And this is for my class who is studying phonetics and phonology with me, and we were exploring writing systems. So I asked them that you need to explore any writing system. There are generally 3 writing systems. We have syllabaries, we have alphabetic writings जो हम English और Urdu में adapt करते हैं, then we have writing systems, and then we have logographics. ठीक है? And so they decided to choose hieroglyphs, Egyptian writing, जो कि आपको pyramids में नजर आती हैं if you are if you have watched The Mummy Returns or some any sort of other such movies, you will realize that they have specific symbols on the carved on the walls. So I'm just going to screen share and show you that this is a presentation made by undergrad students studying phonetics and phonology. And if you can, I'll just be quiet for a minute, and I'm sure you will be able to listen to the sound as well. So can you people listen to the music?
No, for that, I believe you'll have to reshare the screen with the share sound option.
All right, so just a minute. And I just
Meanwhile, I would request all the participants that if you have any questions, kindly type in the chat box so I can read those questions to Miss Naomi. Thank you.
all right, and I have reshared it, and I hope the sound is visible at this time. Sorry, audible at this time. You can hear the sound.
Yeah, yeah, it's fine now.
So can you see this? Can you see the details? I'm sure, like they did admit that they sought help from some seniors, but I don't think there is something bad in that, as long you are trying to present your own work in such an effective manner. So can you see the pharaoh, the people moving, the flower, how the person is painting, and this him? So this was something that really pleased me a lot, and I'll just show you a few glimpses of their slide a bit more. Then they talked about the language systems, hieroglyphics, history, presentation, and added some fun facts as well. So if you could see how the man is working over there, and then I'll just quickly skip to the next slide. Okay, I would just want you to show you keeping in view the time as well. It's 11:33. So then they've shared about the alphabets, the numbers, the reading and writing, and something that I really enjoyed was that they even practiced it. So now the presenters, what they have done is that they have mentioned their names using the hieroglyphic alphabet. So if you can see their names, it's Rakia, Komal, Asya, Hassan, Varisha. So this is how their names would be written when it comes to the hieroglyphic writing. And then there's another thing that I really enjoyed is, and I'm sure you would be enjoying these watching these slides as well, although this is I'm sort of skipping them. I'm not playing each one of them in detail, but keeping the time constraint, I have to rush them for a while, but later on maybe you can just contact me and I could share these slides with you as well. One thing more that I would want to show you is with regard to the fun fact. So if you could notice, the man is on in a way on the first step, and this is a staircase. So just notice how there are, though they are they can be called minute details, but you can see the effort behind that, how much effort the students have put into it. So talking about the origin of English alphabets, alien visit, and if you can see, the man is walking down the stairs. So the alien visits, and you have a UFO, and then the erotic paintings, and you have a person painting, and illiterate ancient people. And eventually, when it came to the downfall, you can see the man from the first staircase to the last staircase. So this is one of the examples of how we can create or give students effective or engaging assignments. So it appeared to be just a minor topic that we need to work about the writing system, but the way they've explored it, the way they have chosen it, and it can be done in several ways. So I'm just going to share one more slide with you, and this is for my another course, that's Semantics and Pragmatics. जिसकी आपको मैंने अभी कोर्स आउटलाइन भी दिखाई थी. And in that, what my practice is that when the students have already learned the basic theories, the basic approaches, I do not just ask them to go and just define them and describe what they are, because the concept is already there. What is important is how they are implementing it. So we just experimented this in the previous week in which they had learned about the types of meaning in semantics, linguistics, and I asked them to use and apply those types of meanings or identify them either in any literary text or in any movie. And I was really, again, very happy, because when you see such work done by the student, it really boosts your morale and you feel so good. So they did it on Shawshank Redemption. It's a movie, and how they gave the synopsis. Then they told how connotative meaning can be interpreted out of it. And as you say, my teacher says my mind is a blank state. So does a blank state mean a literal meaning, just a blank state, or does it have any other? So I'm just going to stop till here. So what we can see is that how they have selected those specific video clips from the whole movie, how they concentrated on the dialogues, how they added them over there, how they explored and they interpreted. So it really made me feel good because they were finally able to do something exciting. It wasn't just a literal explanation or a definition of what they had learned, but this is how they were using those theories, basic concepts, and implementing them. And I'm very sure now, whatever they do, they will be very clear about what writing system is, what hieroglyphics are, and for the ones who have presented this movie, they would be very clear about that. So, talking about our second last term in OLLARC is recommended resources. And I do understand that whenever we are adding the information in LMS, we just add a specific books or specific articles. So it's absolutely fine. You just need to add one line that either you're going to discuss the content by using any article. You can just mention that. Would you be using any movie? Or would you be using any other material for the students to be engaged in that specific day and to learn for that specific day. And the last is closing the loop. I feel whenever we begin a new lesson with them, we are opening a loop. And it's very important to close it at the end, because if we just leave it aside, uh, I think it will not be really very effective. So it's very important that when we are talking about OLLARC, we are adapting different techniques, we are selecting different parts from OLLARC methodology. You can make it as interesting as you want it to be. So coming to our conclusion, so what my learning, what my personal experience from OLLARC is, why to follow OLLARC? Because it's a centralized platform. You are able to easily structure and put your content at one specific place. If you need the same things in your upcoming semesters, you never know if you're teaching the same course. That's definitely going to help, and it's also going to help to improve. For example, in any one of the semester, you learn that this technique was not very effective. So in the upcoming semester, you would know that no, this time I need to adapt another technique. And once the simplified and structured learn, it's a simplified and structured learning process, because the students are also well aware. Like my students, they know if they need any recording, if they need any lecture slide, if they need any content, they can just simply go to LMS and they can access it from there. It also helps you for effective communication when you are using the discussion forums, when you are trying to engage them into different group work, and you can engage them by using several techniques over there. And the last one, which think is very close to my heart, it's beneficial for remote learning. I have a student who is from Koita, and he was telling me कि miss जब मिड टर्म देने होते हैं, असाइनमेंट देने होते हैं, सो आई ड्राइव ऑल द वे फ्रॉम माई गाँव, आई कम टू द सिटी, और मैं गाड़ी में बैठ के अपने मिड टर्म के पेपर देता हूँ वहाँ पे इंटरनेट का पैकेज लगा के 2 घंटे 3 घंटे. एंड इट रियली टच माई हार्ट दैट हाउ हार्ड दी स्टूडेंट्स आर working with, the ones who are genuinely interested in their studies, when they are putting so much effort, why can't we just put a little effort from our side? We don't need to go anywhere. Once you have your structured CLOs, the rest of the things are very very easy. And I think when we place everything on LMS for our students, when we are adapting a OLLARC methodology, and we are making sure that every required learning material is available over there, we are setting a path for our students. So I really feel very good whenever they would review the sessions, and they themselves proactively ask me that, okay, so in the next we are going to do an assignment. And it makes me happy because I know that yes, they have checked their LMS, and they know in in which week I'm going to plan an assignment, in which week I'm going to have a quiz, in which week we are going to have a research activity. So it's like setting a path for them. And I would just conclude with a little motivation from my side, that I totally understand with a lot of work and a lot of things. At times, it seems quite burdensome to us that it's so much work, how we are going to do that. But my suggestion for you would be that just make a plan down करें. If you are already structured, हर चीज़ अगर आपकी already planned होती है, तो it hardly takes me 5 to 10 minutes. That is all, every day to update my LMS. The moment the class is over, the moment I receive the email, I download the recording, upload it, slides are already available, and then I add my CLO. So it's hardly a matter of 5 to 10 minutes. And once you do it systematically in a timely manner, you would not be burdened by the end of the semester that you need to do that. And I really like it. Like recently, we have. Embedded the Turnitin platform in LMS as well. So it was so convenient for me. All the students uploaded their assignment over there. Automatically, the plagiarism was checked. I knew how to mark some specific students. I downloaded all the attachments together, and it was very convenient for me as well, and for the students as well. And that's all from my side, and I hope that now you are going to definitely explore your cheese as well, and see that how far you would want to go to explore for the new cheese. Because if we keep on sticking to old cheese, we'll never be able to adapt to change, and change is something that is always very effective, and change is the only constant thing. So when we keep on encouraging students, when we keep on telling students and setting this expectation that online is the new mode, I think it's time that we change our mindset as well, because definitely that's going to change our behaviors as well. So thank you so much. That's all from my side. If you have any questions or any suggestions, you can feel free to ask me. Thank you.
Well, first of all, it might sound like a paid promotion, but I really enjoyed your presentation. The slides were really creative, and the way you were transferring the knowledge, that was really, really exciting. So I really enjoyed it. And we have some questions in the chat box. I would request all the participants to kindly ask questions from Miss Naomi. If you have anything related into your mind regarding OLLARC or anything at all, generally. Although I have one question I've got in the chat box, that generally all faculty have course materials ready in Word and PDF formats. With having that in hand, how long it takes to create one session, roughly speaking, and one entire course?
All right. Although I can't see this question, but I'm sure Mr. Murtaza must be having it. So, in when it comes to my personal practice, it took me almost 2 to 3 days. I'll be very honest, while I was drafting my course outline. So, I did a very detailed work on that, and after that, when my weekly sessions have been already available in Word or PDF format, any of the way, it I'm very realistically speaking. Please do not think that I'm making it up because I want you people. It hardly takes me 5 to 6 minutes, because the moment I download the recording, I just upload. And I'll suggest that we need to multitask. So the moment you receive the link, just click on the download option. Till the time the video gets downloaded, you can complete any one of the other tasks, copy the link. So for me personally, it hardly takes me 5 to 6 minutes on a daily basis to upload one session for any one specific course. And I usually prefer that before the class starts, I do it proactively prior to the session. For example, if I am teaching places of articulation in this specific week, so I'll make sure that on Monday morning, that lecture slide is updated on LMS. So the students can access it at any point of time. They can review it and they can explore. So later on, I'm just left with uploading the lecture recording. So it doesn't really take much time once everything is structured and it's properly managed with time.
Very well said, that it hardly takes any time if it's organized and well structured. Thank you for answering that question. I think the kind of response that we have got in the polls, it means that the session was quite good, and the team who have conducted the trainings, they have done some good job as well. We have actually two more questions. The first one is from Dr. Nadia, that how often do you use the discussion forum, and how effective do you think this tool is?
All right, thank you for that. Usually, once in 2 weeks, because I prefer to have a different activity in every week. I do not want to have the same monotony. For example, if we are having discussion forum in this week, so I try it to be different for every class. And it's usually after every 2 weeks I conduct this discussion forum, or most. I prefer using breakout rooms option as well, because for the students in remote area, they have some challenges when it comes to LMS at times. But for the ones who do not have any problem, it's really good and it's engaging. And but again, I would say you have to buck up them, you have to engage yourself with the students, or else the ones who are a little shy, and or the ones who are a little less confident, they would not really active. So you yourself have to get involved with them. You have to either call out their names, or you need to assign them specific responsibilities, and they need to know that they have to do it because they are given this specific duty, and taking it as a responsibility, or as a, if you make for example, if you're making a group of 4 people and you make any one of the students the leader, so in that case it helps them to at least part, not very active, but with the passage of time they are able to uh, change their behavior. Like for the students whom I taught in the previous semester, I see a drastic change when it comes to class participation, when it comes to getting engaged in the discussion forums. So it is quite effective, Dr. Nadia, but I would say that I do not prefer using the same tools every time for every class. So it's really good that you every time you try to bring a different activity for them to keep them engaged and interested. Thank you. And do
All
we have
right.
any more questions?
Yes,
Yes.
we do. Okay, let me read it out to you. There is somebody. Uh, his or her name is 22985. So they're
James
asking.
Bond 007, something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. But I think this is next version of 007. So how we map CLOs to our exam on LMS, assignments, quizzes, and other exams.
All right. So my answer would be for that, that once you are assigned any specific course, my way of doing thing is that I go through the content, and then I try to map it with the understanding level of my students. For the undergrads, definitely they need to know the basics. For the ones who are studying in the master's class, they have a different level of understanding. So first thing is this, that you need to keeping your audience in your mind. You need to jot down or shortlist your main topics. Okay, उस topic में भी then you need to know. For example, if I'm telling them about sound waves, ठीक है, so this would not mean that I go into a lot of technicalities. I'll tell them basic, what is sound, what is a wave, and then what kinds of waves there are. Periodic होती हैं, aperiodic होती हैं, difference क्या होता है for the undergrad program, so they at least have the basic understanding. So definitely connecting with this, next thing would be speech, ठीक है, and then I'm going to definitely connect those topics. Speech के बाद we'll be coming to places of articulation. After that we'll be coming to manner. We'll be talking about voice. So what I believe is that the teacher needs to be very clear in their own head कि आपने क्या, आपका course है, उसके क्या topics हैं, and if because definitely I am working in a literature department. If I talk about the literature department, so if you're teaching any novel, if you're teaching them any poem, you need to know about the background of the writer, of the author, the era in which they are writing, what were the major themes, were there any specific movements, if there are any other researches that have been conducted on the same topic, just try to find them, go through those articles and see. So you need to do a little research at your end first, but once you have already done that initially, it just helps you for a smooth flow of the rest of the semester. So finalizing your topic, and then there would be several ways. I'm just completing this answer. There would be certain topics that can be covered in assignment. Then there would be certain topics that would be more uh, they would help the students more if they are given in a quiz form and in any other or in any exam form. So it's entirely dependent upon you that which topic do you think would be covered up in an assignment. Some of them won't need any like more research, and you can maybe give them in a quiz form, and that's entirely how you would relate your topics to your CLOs, to the assignment quizzes and other exams. I hope my answer is making sense, and it's like your main query or the main concern has been addressed.
Well, I believe the answer was quite satisfying, and I've understood completely and clearly. Unless the person 22985 would like to share their feedback.
All right.
Uh, One more thing before I go to the next question, I'd like to ask all the participants that if you like to share your OLARC story, the way Miss Naomi presenting, if you'd like to present as well, so please send us an email at stairs, and on my email I've just shared that email in the chat box. So with your story and with your challenges, that might help your other peers, your other colleagues, and the teachers as well. So if anybody likes to do that, please send us an email, and we'll be more than happy to arrange something like that for you. Okay, so although we are getting a lot of appreciation for your wonderful presentation, everybody enjoyed it, they liked it very much, including myself. The next question, okay, uh, okay, very informative. So Dr. Nadia Anwar, she's asking another question. Can you please shed some light on misconception that a teacher needs to upload assignments and quizzes every week?
As it's a myth, so yes, it is just a myth, and I would just break the bubble by saying no, it does not have to be every week. That's entirely fellow colleagues dependent upon you. Okay, so my strategy, what I do is like I work on Saturdays as well. So these days students are not coming. So, but luckily, Saturday is the day when even the faculty is less. So I have scheduled my slots this way that if in the rest of the week I am checking the assignments, preparing their lectures, so I reserve my Saturdays for my LMS work. So after my class ends at 9 a.m., I just start with my course wise weekly content, and I see which classes have been conducted, is the weekly content uploaded, are the weekly slides uploaded, and are the lectures uploaded. So I do it once a week, and that's entirely your choice. It doesn't mean that you have to do it every day, or you need to spend so much time every day. My practice is doing that once a week, and if I have some free time, if I'm able to manage time, and if I think there's something really important that needs to go on the LMS right there and then I do it right there and then, and hardly it even takes 5 to 10 minutes. It doesn't really take a lot of time. Because what I do is I make a Word document and I just add up my assessments or the quizzes option, whatever is required over there. And then I just, the only thing is just to upload that document in LMS, and that hardly takes 5 minutes. So it's not really time taking. And you don't really need to spend so much time on LMS. It's a very effective tool with regard to time management as well. So everything is already structured and everything is already available. You have the assignments tab, the quiz tab, the discussion forum, everything is already available. The ones that you do not require, you can delete them and you can just duplicate them. So I would say almost 50% of work is already done by Share's team, and the rest 50 needs to be done by us.
Perfect, wonderful. All right, just to make it a little bit more exciting, the participant who would ask the most interesting uh, question will get something very, kind of a good surprise or a certificate. So far, it seems like either Dr. Nadia or myself is winning because I am reading your questions. But although most of our participants, they're dear faculty members, and based on this poll, I believe you are all very well informed. But still, uh, I would request you to ask a very good question, a very exciting or different question. In the end, whoever come up with the most exciting question will can get a certificate, and so far I am the only one seems winning this you know competition. Okay, Dr. Nadia, would smiles be considered as participation? Yes, that can be considered, but again I think I am the only one laughing here. So again I'm
I
winning that
just
competition. Yeah.
came across one question by Aisha Aslam. She says how you manage students' engagement with assignments and quizzes. So Aisha, the
Right.
way I've showed the two presentations of my two different students in two different courses, what I do is that when it comes to assignment, I usually give them some research-based assignment. I hardly give them any option that says that, okay, we've learned this concept, just explain that. I usually do not do that. So what I do is that I try to explore through research articles. I try to explore several videos, and then I see how what is something that's genuinely going to interest them, build their interest, engage them, and at the end of the task they have definitely learned something. And when it comes to quizzes, there are several ways, because these two are linguistic courses. At times I just have a short fill in the blank option with them, at times MCQs, at times true and false. So though they are a little tricky and they have to just go back to their previous knowledge, so this is how I engage them. And as I said, that it's uh, as I shared in my slide as well, that learning is a two-way street. So it is applicable on everything. May it be conducting a regular class, may it be giving assignments to the students, may it be conducting the quizzes. If what my learning is, if I'm not feeling happy about something, how my students would be feeling happy about that. So it's entirely up. If I'm happy with some research, I find the topic interesting, then I'm excited that yes, the students are definitely going to enjoy that as well. And let me just share another example when talking about writing systems. A lot of my students have explored sign language, and there were a lot of new things that I learned with them, that even sign languages have a morphological structure. I did not know that we can study sign language in syntax and in morphology as well. So this is something new for me, and I always share them when they were there. I encourage them and I tell them, okay, this is something really good. I did not know this, so thank you for sharing your knowledge with me. Adding it just boosts their confidence, and then they're more eager to do more research. And in the next class, they will tell, okay, we researched the topic more, and this is what we come to, like we came across or what we learned again. So it's a combo of several things, boosting their morale, uplifting their spirits, encouraging them, and it just goes vice versa. So this is how I try to keep them engaged and interested, whether assignments, whether quizzes, and even in class discussions as well.
All right. Thank you so much. I think Dr. Nadia is really serious to win this competition. And so
Yeah.
she's asking quite good questions. Um,
Yeah.
but before I take that question, is there anything in your mind, Miss Naomi, that you were thinking that was a must question, and nobody have asked that question? Was there anything in your mind? Think about
I
that.
was
Uh,
thinking maybe something with regard to OLLARC people would be asking, but it seems they are very clear about that, because when I started adapting OLLARC methodology, learning objectives was something that I really had to work on upon. So that was my working area. I had to spend a lot of time on that, but it seems that a lot of people are already well aware or now well equipped that how they need to do that. So I was thinking maybe there would be something with regard to OLLARC. And Dr. Nadia again asks that, do you think uploading interesting images and pictures? Yes, Miss Nadia, definitely, because uh, in a recent training, I learned that there are several kinds of learners. Some of them are visual learners, some of them are social learners. So, my own personal opinion is this, that as we say, a picture speaks more than 1,000 words. So, if I add by adding an image, it's going to interest a student more than instead of just putting so much text. I prefer using images. I prefer using short video clips, animated video clips, and I try to find, for example, in the previous semester, I was teaching this novel, The Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan, and I luckily found the animated version, a movie on that. So we watched the movie together, and then we made comparisons. We did analysis on the written text and how the movie was presented. So I believe, yes, that adding interesting images and pictures, definitely it builds their interest, and it keeps them more engaging, because just having so much text makes you lose your attention. Even we as teachers, when you have to read articles or read a lot of text, there comes a point when you just get tired of reading. But whereas when if we say about movies or visual arts, they always keep us very much interested. So yes, they often ensure that. Well, I do check that on a weekly basis again, and to encourage them. Like previously, I remember students used to ask for the everything, either send you text message or an email. But now they all are very clear about this, that for everything that they need, everything is available on LMS. So they go and visit over there. Another short tip that I learned from you was that to encourage them more to use LMS effectively, probably we can just add some marks to that, the way we have for class participation, class activity. So then they know that whenever they are visiting LMS, it's not just in vain, they will be getting additional marks for that as well. And then we have a column which shows you whenever you open up your course, it just gives you a visibility with the name of the students, that which student has been visiting over there regularly, how often they are visiting. So you get a complete overview over there about the students visit on LMS.
all right, perfect. I believe Dr. Nadia is not coming slow. So, Miss Naomi, as you are the presenter, so you will decide who who's going to be the rock star of today's session, the person who have asked most interesting questions, and so you can announce that in the end. So we're still open for all the participants. If anybody likes to ask anything regarding OLLARC, LMS, or anything regarding this session or the presentation from Miss Naomi Justin, so we're online. We are available. Otherwise, uh, Miss Naomi, over to you.
Otherwise, we are not available. If you do not have any queries or questions
Yeah,
anymore, and
otherwise.
I think depending upon the frequency of questions, Dr. Nadia would definitely be the winner.
Dr. Nadia, I understand your full team is quite difficult and we cannot push them at all. So,
And I
Dr.
would
Nadia
just
said,
add up,
yeah.
not just because I'm presenting on this forum, but I think that there are a lot of things, being our HOD from Dale's department, there are a lot of things that we have learned from her, especially when it comes to litigation. She is very adaptive towards new things. I remember when we were introduced with LMS and OLLARC, we were a little hesitant, but she always encouraged us. So I think it's with the coordination of the fellow colleagues as well, when you boost each other, when you help each other, and when we support each other. So that's also a plus when it comes to adapting to new technologies and techniques. So we should always be open to help each other as well when anyone has any query.
I totally agree with that. Even I have worked with Dr. Nadia on different projects, and every time I learned something new. And she's a very fun and uh, good person to work with.
All right, and it seems, Mr. Murtaza, that we have come to the closure of the session because I do not have any more questions in the chat box.
Sure. So I think let's conclude the session.
Yes.
And in the end, I'd really like to thank all the participants who have joined this session, and especially to Miss Naomi. We're going to have another session today at 12:30. So kindly ask your other colleagues, and if you wish to join another session with a different topic, so you're more than welcome. You can join by clicking on the same link. So we are done with today's session. Thank you so much. This is Syed Murtaza signing off. And if Ms. Nami would like to add some final remarks, please do that. Otherwise, we're done.
I think this is the final remark that done and dusted for session one. And I would just like to thank my colleagues for sparing their times. I know that after the midterms, we're having our regular classes. So I'm very thankful to them for joining in and sparing their precious time. And that's all from my side. Thank you, Mr. Murtaza.
All right. Take care. Take care. Allah
You
Hafiz.
too,
Bye bye.
Sheila, please.